Hello and welcome to Gamestack Podcast Episode 5, Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. Hope you guys are all doing well. Happy Friday. I am your co-host Vendertron, and joining us this evening is the lovely Shalene
Hello.
and Rick. Rick. Rick.
Me
Rick.
too. Hi.
We have got a lovely lineup of all kinds of stuff coming down the pipeline. Shalene will share that with you guys in a few moments. But before we begin today's podcast, we need to talk about something a little bit serious. The topic is net neutrality. I'm sure that many of you have already seen a lot of the information floating around the interwebs. And our policy here on GameStack Podcast is to keep the show a haven from anything that even remotely smells the stench of politics and focusing on bringing you great content on gaming. This message in no way means a change in our policy at We Just Love Games, but rather we feel the issue of net neutrality is so incredibly important to the gaming community and podcasters and to Americans and even those outside of the US that we are willing to make an exception and speak to something we are historically strict about. I want you to consider for a second all of the podcasts that you listen to. If GameStack is not your only podcast, we forgive you. Everybody makes mistakes. But in all seriousness, some of the most popular and highly regarded podcasts that you listen to, games that you play, and people you connect with worldwide, like Shalene, Rick, and myself, who bring a wealth of exuberance and information to the gaming community. Now, I want you to imagine a world where your internet service provider or the company that owns it has seen that there is money to be had in the gaming market, or quite simply, the podcast community. And they have decided to launch their own service to throttle or block internet traffic when you go to download the latest episode of GameStack Podcast. And there is nothing you can do about it. Keep in mind, in this hypothetical topsy-turvy world, what they are doing is completely legal. You are unable to change anything, speak with anyone, because you either have no other choices in ISPs or all other ISPs are owned by the same juggernaut. Imagine a world where Todd Howard is legally forced to pay Comcast so that their customers can access Steam or even the Bethesda site unimpeded. A world in which Bethesda is forced to either start charging customers, run intrusive ads, or face shutdown. You can insert any name into where I have mentioned Todd Howard, and you'll get a better idea of how serious this is. If you think that this can't happen, they've already tried multiple times, and we've fought back. The only thing that has prevented this from already happening is the FCC. The same FCC whose chairman now wants to dismantle everything that stopped them from becoming this generation's robber barons. The internet facilitates the exchange of information, amazing information worldwide, in a way that has revolutionized the gaming industry. It has provided gamers with a platform to connect with, share, and even make a living sharing high-quality content with more people than ever in history. It is because of the importance of net neutrality to the entire world of gaming that we are making an exception to our normal show this evening. Everything that can be done must be done to save net neutrality. We strongly encourage everyone within the sound of our voices here on GameStack Podcast to connect with their congressman or congresswoman to tell them of the importance of net neutrality to you and our society. The internet is famous in recent years for slacktivism, but this issue is far too important to simply share things on social media, which is why we are bringing this to the show to you tonight. I personally have signed an international petition and have spread the word throughout my networks up here in my igloo. But if you would like to do the same, no matter where you live or who you are, you can do so by going to www.battleforthenet.com to take action. Thank you for listening. And now with our regular scheduled broadcast, Shalene.
Thank you, Vendertron, and thank you so much for sharing this with us. This is an incredibly, incredibly important issue, important to all of us here at GameStack and all of us in the world. So do talk to your congressman about that. And back to our ordinary stuff here. We've got a lovely podcast today planned for you all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, I want to say that, like, for all of us that played Fallout 4, this definitely we should be trained for this kind of net neutrality fight, because we were trained to fight the good fight.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Keep
Exactly
fighting
what
the
we're
good
And
fight.
this is not a new issue, So
Yeah. We went through this already once before, and we'll keep going through it until things make sense. So.
Mhm.
Yep.
So back to the announcements segment of our podcast. We'd like to give a shout out to listener Bree, who ran a little Twitter contest recently and got us a whole bunch of Twitter followers. Thank you for that, Bree. That was really nice of you to include us in your Twitter giveaway.
thank
So
you, Bree.
thank you for that. And
That's great.
we'd also like you. It's almost December now. I know the year has flown by. So
Chilly outside.
something that we'd like you to keep in mind is to send us your Game of the Year thoughts. That's something we will be addressing pretty soon. And we have 5-star reviewers to shout out on the podcast today. We thank you to everyone who gave us a 5-star review on iTunes. And all of these people had some very kind words to say. Jeff Kinsey, Medic3622, Al's Sunshine, Neurotech from Canada. This guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name or her. H. Dixinker? I don't know. I mess it up every time.
Oh.
And a string of letters. It's probably something I shouldn't be trying to say, Rick?
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
I think you kind of got
Well,
close
even
to it.
though you trolled me, we still love you, Mr. Canadian guy.
Canadians
and,
are great with their comedy.
Pentagruelia, also from Canada. Scott Please from the UK. Thank you guys very much for your 5-star review shout-outs. We've got some gameplay stories for you, including the story of our very first chicken dinner,
Yes.
which is probably what we're going to lead off with.
So excited.
Some incredible news, including more loot box stuff. I know we're all tired of talking about that, but we're going to talk about it until it leaves the news. And we have a special email. So guys, I feel like I need to explain for our audio listeners because they comprise 99% of our listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, before they leave.
Rick
You
is
should
naked
probably
right now,
explain it.
guys. Rick is not, he's not wearing clothes in the video version of this
Now,
podcast.
you might be wondering why.
We're
Yep.
also all eating chicken.
Yep.
So, Rick, do you want to start this story off and explain why you are in your birthday suit there, buddy?
I think the best way to explain what's going on is to start at the beginning. And if you guys have been following us, all three of us have developed a love for PUBG. And if you win, if you come in first place, your team or your squad or you come in first place in that game, the screen says winner, winner, chicken dinner. So we're all eating chicken because we got a chicken dinner. Now, let me explain to you that this was my first chicken dinner. I believe Shalene and Vendor, it was your first chicken dinners as well.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it was all three of our first chicken dinners, and Joseph Tao in the chat room was playing with us that night, and he was also involved with this chicken dinner. Now, let me explain to you, and stop me if I'm getting too ahead of myself, guys, here. I just want to kind of walk them through the theatrics of that match. This particular match started out okay. We weren't geared up exponentially here. I had a few guns, Vendor and Joseph had a few guns, and Shalene had a crossbow and a pistol.
Yeah, I
Did
think.
I even
think,
have a pistol?
No.
She did have a pistol. She did have a pistol.
Oh, well, I think Joseph, Rick, and I, the three of us were decked out.
And like
And-
a AK or something.
Yeah, I think. Are you sure? I think you had an SKS.
You
I
guys
don't
had
remember.
decent weaponry. It wasn't
Yeah.
top of the line, but it was pretty okay.
So the circle's closing in. I'm running towards this cliff. Vendor says, "Don't come down the cliff." I'm like, I've played Skyrim. I could traverse the cliff. So I went down the cliff and fell underneath of the map and subsequently downed myself. So Shalene walked over and said, "Well, I'm going to test this crossbow out," and shot me in the face and killed me, which is fine because I was underneath. I was clipped through the floor into the ground,
Well,
not coming out.
I'd never
Oh,
used the
gosh.
crossbow before, and you
What
were
a
in a
better
lot
way
of
to test
pain.
it.
You were in a lot of pain, stuck in the side of that cliff. So
Put
I
him
was
out
a
of his
good
misery.
So they end up getting across the river, and it's just the three of them left. And I can't really remember how this went down,
can
but
I
do
interrupt
know.
for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to say that I think we all expected that if we ever were to ever get a chicken dinner, ever, it would be because of something heroic that Rick did. I think that's pretty much
That was the consensus.
what we all
I
expected.
think from the beginning of playing PUBG, and that still sort of stands with me.
Yeah.
Unless Shalene gets a crossbow, then anything is fair game.
Rick is out of the game. So carry on, Rick.
I'm out of the game. I do know that somehow Joseph gets in a vehicle. Vendertron is somewhere, and Shalene, you're crouched in the grass somewhere else.
Right.
You get ambushed, Shalene, by two guys, which Joseph decides to run over with the vehicle, which he does successfully.
Right.
He doesn't. I don't think he kills them. I think he just downed both of them. And then he decides to, for some unknown reason, jump out of a moving vehicle and kill himself. So there's two down. Joseph's dead because he jumped out of a vehicle and is dead. I fell through the ground, so I am dead. So it's Vender and Shalene, who has a crossbow. So yes, he accidentally hit the F key. I know, I've done it a million times too. So it's those two left. Vendertron gets ambushed and thwacked. He's dead. It's just Shalene. There's 10 people left. There's a crossbow on her back, actually, technically in her hands. What?
I would also like to add that at this point, the circle was pigeonholing us towards the shoreline. So there were virtually almost no buildings around.
There was no cover of pretty much
there
any
was no
kind.
cover.
And the circle was just getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So circle's getting smaller. Vender's dead because he got ambushed. Shalene has a crossbow and a pistol. I'm dead because I fell through the ground, and again, Joseph jumps out of a moving vehicle. So Shalene's crawling through the floor. Not through the floor, through the shrubbery. Yeah. There's 10 people left. Circle's closing in. There's gunshots. And I'm looking at the situation, and I say, if Shalene gets this chicken dinner, I'm gonna do the next show naked. Because it's impossible.
Like,
Thanks
It'll
for the
never
vote
happen.
of confidence, by the way.
it'll never
No
happen.
confidence
This is
whatsoever.
Like, I'm gonna eat my hat. Good
Yeah.
thing you didn't say that.
So I'm crawling
So-
toward the center of this circle.
You pick up from here.
And I just, like, I'm so scared. All I have is this crossbow. And
And
there
a
are
frying
people
pan.
all around me. I did have a frying pan. And
that's
I think the frying pan actually did save me because I was taking fire for a little while.
I think so.
And there was one bush left in the circle. So I'm crouched in the bush, hiding in this single bush inside the circle. And there's people all around me fighting amongst themselves. I have this crossbow, and I'm just plinging away at these people. There are these two people in front of me. One is behind a rock, and one is behind a building. And I'm just shooting at them like crazy with this crossbow. And I
Yep.
don't think I ever hit either one of them.
You didn't.
But the crossbow is silent, right? So they didn't hear me shooting at them.
Unreal.
So the circle keeps closing in, and I just keep on crawling forward. And I leave the safety of my bush because the bush is out of the circle. I've got just a little bit of health. I don't have any health items, and I'm crawling toward the center of the circle, just determined not to die. And everybody's fighting amongst themselves and not shooting this idiot that's crawling toward the center of the circle with a crossbow. And I just keep shooting at those two guys that are fighting each other. And as the circle gets smaller, they kill one another. They both downed each other and died. And there was one guy left alive, and he died outside the circle. And we got to the game over screen. And of course, none of us have ever seen the chicken dinner screen. I assumed it was something with a bit more fanfare. But it looks just like the ordinary game over screen. And I assume that I've died, you know, and that there's...
We all did.
And then I hear, no!
From me. Because, well, like, all right, so here's what happened. She's calling. Nobody notices that there's only 3 people left in this match. I hear bang, 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 bang. And then all of a sudden the screen comes up. Because the guy dies outside the circle as soon as he shoots and kills the guy inside the circle. And I think all of us were kind of like trying to figure out what exactly happened. And then the next thing I know, it says number 1.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Reality sinks in.
Reality totally hit Rick like a train.
I'm like, well, there we are then.
And we were all just like, no!
No,
really
that's
happy.
not true.
Like, yeah, no.
And
yes,
I'm
no.
screaming like a banshee, just like, ah!
Oh, I couldn't believe it. And the funny thing is when the game was over, we thought that you had almost made it.
Mhm.
But we also thought that it was really cool that those guys happened to just both shoot and kill each other at the same time, sort of thing.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then we just sort of realized that, wait a minute, you won by default.
Yes.
Yeah.
I won a chicken dinner without ever killing anybody.
But you didn't
That's
get
one
any
hell
hit
of a
points
stealth
either.
run, I'll tell you.
You didn't get any hit points either. Shalene didn't kill anyone. She didn't even hit anyone with all
It
those
was a
crossbow fire.
pacifist PUBG chicken dinner.
It was really sad, though, because you only got 150 points for that.
I
because you
know.
actually didn't kill anybody.
Yeah,
But-
I think it's the lowest like score you can get on a chicken dinner.
And technically, I thought they should have given me some credit because I did kill Rick.
That
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I did
Although
kill
they're
Rick.
Probably
Yeah.
taking points away for that. Well, so that's all of our first chicken dinners. The complete disaster of a run, but somehow that happened to be the one.
It was so incredible. And I'm still just laughing on this one because we really did expect that if we ever got chicken dinner, it would be because Rick did something cool. Because he's very good. He's very good at these games. He can kill like 3 people while I'm hiding under the stairwell and Vindertron's providing cover fire.
That just goes to show you that sometimes it's not about the player. sometimes, it's actually no. That's totally wrong to
Yeah.
say. It's actually all about the player. So
But, like-
anybody can win. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
be. Like
I
you
was
can win on
really
stealth
patient. I was really patient. If I had stood up at any point, I would have died.
And I think we also kind of realized that if you had a pistol and you had fired like you were with your crossbow, you probably
Mhm.
would have been dead.
Yes.
Yeah. So the fact that you didn't have the best gun
Was actually an advantage.
Yeah, so it's a tactic. It's a tactic. Not shooting when you should. Now, you guys are always saying that like my heroics or whatever, blah 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 blah. But see, I'm the kind of person that will take out 2 squads and then throw a grenade out the window, only hitting the windowsill and it bouncing back and exploding in my face. That's my like strategy.
So-
I do good
Yeah.
and then I just do a terrible thing and it gets us all killed.
Which is why you're doing the podcast naked.
It is exactly why I'm doing the podcast naked because
Mhm.
I was like, I can Skyrim down a cliff.
We would also like to add that we are not in violation of any terms of service because there are no nips. And there is no real nudity showing.
Just don't stand up, whatever you do.
Please don't stand up. If there's a fire, well, Godspeed.
I'll just smack the camera away. I gotta say though, this is very comfy.
So,
A little breezy, though.
well, Rick
I
enjoys
do.
the cool breeze there. Shall we
Oh,
continue
dear.
on with the podcast?
I suppose.
This was so great. So yeah, we got to eat chicken on the podcast.
Yep.
It was great. So, let's talk about the games that we're playing, guys, since we already started out with that amazing chicken dinner story. Who wants to go first?
Rick, why don't you take the honors?
Yeah, so what we're playing. I've been playing a ton of Guild Wars 2. I've been trying to gear up for raiding, which is some like end game stuff, and that's very expensive with in-game currency. But I've been playing a ton of Guild Wars 2, and of course PUBG, a la shirtless, naked, whatever, no pants. I'm naked on the internet, guys. Anyway. So I've been playing a lot of PUBG, and it's been fun. And again, I've only been playing with you guys, really, and one of our other friends. And it always boils down to kind of what we covered. What is it? John Wick to Johnny English is how we covered it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Pretty much.
So I've been in this mood to play like a good modern shooter that's somewhat tactical and not like Fallout RPG based kind of thing. So I played some Ghost Recon. I got that like demo, whatever thing that Ubisoft was doing. And I realized that drug cartel goons, like just guys that they like pay a couple bucks to like shoot bad guys or whatever, they are awesome at counter sniping. And I mean awesome. Like I'm on a hill far away with a silenced rifle and fire a shot and I nail one. And they're like, they're in the hills right over there. And all of a sudden they're like, let's search the area exactly where I'm at. And it's crazy the amount of training those hired random townsfolk have for counter sniping. It's incredible. That game is awful. Don't get it.
Really?
So, oh, it's bad. It's just so. The controls are clunky. The AI is absolutely brilliantly stupid, if you get what I'm saying. There are guys running right up on me while my guys are watching them like, hey, there's a bad guy. And then the bad guy mows me down. And they're like, I'll save you. And run over and then res me. And it's just kind of like dumb. It's just not a good game. And so I guess Joe Visitors is late to the
A little
party.
late to the party.
Yeah, I'll synopsis it for you. Shalene won chicken dinner in PUBG with a crossbow. I said, "There's no way you could do this. If you do this, I'll do the next show naked." Here I am. So, anyway, so Ghost Recon bad. I started a survival run in Fallout. I downloaded a mod that's called Quick Start. So right after the bathroom scene, you pick what you look like. It quick starts you into a couple different selections. You can pick your backstory. You don't have to be from Vault 111. You can be from Vault 111. It's this whole thing. So I decided to try that out to be, a survival kind of thing. And I played for maybe like a half an hour and was like, I'm going back to Guild Wars. So that's where I've been putting a lot of my time into Guild Wars. It's kind of my, what did we say? Like yours was Arc, right?
Yeah.
And then, so mine's Guild Wars. That's my thing. And Shalene, I don't know what yours was Fallout Shelter, but ever since you platinumed it, like
I haven't been there much. I've dropped in on my Fallout Shelter a couple of times, but I'm trying to sort of move on from Fallout Shelter. So yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's basically what I've been playing, and I won't get into Guild Wars too much because I could ramble on and on. But yeah, so
we should have a Guild Wars episode one day. Other than a Let's Play where we just talk Guild Wars.
We should do some specialized episodes. That would be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be really fun.
What have you been doing, Shalene? Or Vendor, whoever wants to go next.
Well, actually, you could just skip right over me because I've been studying like a crazy madman for my upcoming sink or swim biostatistics finals. So no gameplay. No gameplay
tell
for
us
me.
about biostats. How's that going?
Oh, no.
No.
Like, well, let me tell you about binomial distribution, Shalene. Just kidding.
Okay.
I don't want people to leave the show.
I fell asleep.
Well, hopefully soon you'll get through this final. You will come out like a phoenix rising from the ashes, as you are so prone to saying. It will be beautiful, and we can move on from biostats. So I have been playing some PUBG, mostly just with you guys. I'll play a solo round now and again, but mostly I just play with you guys because it's fun.
It is very fun.
I love PUBG. I love it so much. I've also played some Assassin's Creed Origins. I really do like that game. Assassin's Creed Origins is quite good. And I had an encounter in the first major city. Like, not the opening city, but the next city that you go to. And I'm just walking to the next quest objective, and it's nice. It's a nice open world type game, And I see this great cat, and I'm like, man, what a great cat. And I stop, and I'm like, I wonder if you can pet the cats. I don't know if you guys played Assassin's Creed 3. I think you did, Rick. Assassin's Creed 3?
I played 3 and 4, and I thought they were
Yeah.
pretty good.
So
I have
Assassin's Creed 3, you can pet all the animals in Assassin's Creed 3. You can feed chickens, you can pet the pigs, like every animal, the dogs. You can pet all these animals. And it was great. And I thought, I bet you can pet this cat, because there are cats all over because it's ancient Egypt. And so I stop and I'm like, okay, I've just got to find the pet cat button. So I push a couple of buttons and I do some dumb stuff, like I jump and I swing my sword. And pretty soon I've accidentally horse-jacked one of the guards. I just pull him down off his horse and steal his horse. And I'm just trying to pet this cat. But all the guards in this city are after me now. So I'm just running through the city. And
Wow.
I did die. I didn't survive this encounter, but I was unable to pet the cat. And I was really angry that you can't pet cats. And then I learned later on, I forget who it was on Facebook that posted, you can pet cats. You just crouch when the cat is near you. So
I wasn't sure if it was some sort of like thing, like because in ancient Egypt, those were kind of like deities, almost. They were like revered as gods. So I wasn't sure if like you couldn't touch cats, like if that was like.
Yeah, I think it's cats are is it Nefertiti or Osiris or something?
Cats were sacred to several of the gods of ancient Egypt, but it wasn't the kind of thing where you can't touch cats. You could still have a house cat, but they were.
I
just
bet you that's
considered a
something you'll learn
sacred
on the
animal.
museum tour.
Yes, I can't wait for the museum tour. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
But
Is that still coming out?
yeah, it should come out early next year.
Gotcha.
And then I recovered from that and I left the cats behind. And I moved on to the next mission. And there was somebody selling basically counterfeit animal mummies, which was a thing that really happened.
Wow.
You would buy an animal mummy and give it as an offering to one of the gods that it was sacred to, right?
So sort of like a early history taxidermy.
Kind of, yeah. But somebody was selling, fake ones.
Nice.
So I was tasked with finding these and destroying them, right? And so I go to destroy these things. I stealthily take out all the guards, and it's just great. It goes really well. I'm like, I can't believe I did this so well. Now I just need to destroy these mummies. So I think mummies, they probably would burn real easy, counterfeit mummies.
Yeah.
And they've been teaching you the whole time about this torch that you have. You can just pull out this torch at any time. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to set these on fire. It's going to be real good. And I swing the torch and the grass catches fire and then I catch fire.
Oh, no.
So I'm running across the desert on fire. And that's pretty much the extent of how well Assassin's Creed Origins is going for me. I love it. I enjoy when games can go this badly wrong on me.
I didn't realize that Assassin's Creed Origins was literally the game about how Burning Man started.
And I was the Burning Man.
You were the first one. You beat the game.
It was amazing. So this next one is probably going to be a surprise to you. I played the Battlefront 2 single player, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 single player campaign. Yeah.
And
so I did not purchase the Battlefront 2 video game, but I'm an EA Access member, which I totally forgot that I had. I signed up for it quite a while ago because my nephew likes sports games and racing games, and $30 a year gets him like his pick of 50 sports and racing games.
Oh, and you're like the best aunt ever.
He gets to just play whatever he wants, and I'm so popular. So I realized that also gives me a 10-hour trial of Battlefront. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to check this out. And I was actually kind of excited to play the single player of this. And it started out pretty good. It's a gorgeous game. The graphics are just really good. It's a very pretty video game. And you open up with this stealth sequence as a little droid. You're not playing as the protagonist yet. You're playing as a little droid, which is great. Light spoilers, I guess. Sorry, guys. For Battlefront 2. But
Oh, okay.
I had a great time because you're playing on the Imperial side is the conceit of this story. So I just sort of, you have this taser ability as the droid, and I just murdered everyone in the ship before I moved on to the objective. I just stealth killed everyone on the ship with this little droid, and I thought it was hilarious.
Wow.
Starting
And
to sound like me.
You're kind of warped, Shalene.
it was funny.
Yeah, it's good.
But you pick up as the protagonist, Iden Versio, who's basically a special forces soldier of the Empire. And it's pretty standard shooter gameplay. It's okay. You know, it's fun. It's not special. The movement, when you have control of the player, is not as polished and smooth as I expect. In third-person mode, there is also first-person mode, which works pretty well. So another thing I noticed is that, and this applies also to Assassin's Creed Origins, load screens are really long. Load times are very long.
Really?
I have a day one Xbox One. It's getting up there. It's getting a bit long in the tooth. And I noticed that some of the games that have come out this year, they chug. And sometimes I can tell my Xbox is struggling to run these games. And the load screens, some of these Battlefront load screens, guys, were like Fallout New Vegas bad.
Oh.
Like, go make a sandwich, work on a crossword puzzle.
Watch Lord of the Rings Extended Edition.
Basically. So that's a complaint that I had. And I was doing pretty well. I was having enough fun that I thought, I hope I can finish this in the 10 hours so that I don't have to buy this game. And then I got this glitch where my feet were frozen to the floor and I could not move.
Must have been on Hoth.
Yeah, it was not on Hoth. It was on Indoor. Must have been little Ewoks clinging to my ankles. But at that point, you guys called to play PUBG, so I abandoned Battlefront and played PUBG. And then when I came back, I got past that, the glitch, just resetting the game, fixed the glitch. And I got to this flying segment where you're flying a TIE fighter. And this didn't go super well for me, guys.
Oh, no.
I turned the difficulty all the way down after about 20 minutes of banging my head against this level. And it turns out that I can either avoid the debris or dogfight the rebel ships, but not both.
So what did you do?
I can't do both. I put the controller down before I put it through the TV. And I will not play this game anymore because I rage quit. I rage quit hard.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, that's kind of fitting.
that's my Battlefront experience.
I remember it, PlayStation 2, the Driver Stuntman game. Do you remember that game? Anybody?
Yep.
Somebody?
Yep.
The loading screens on that were horrendous.
Yeah.
Like, they were like minutes. And this is a PlayStation 2. I mean, these graphics weren't exactly wonderful.
I just remember the loading screens on GTA, like Vice City, on my PS2. It was like,
They weren't
and you
bad, but they were
watching
abrupt.
the little bar was just like,
Just excruciating.
and you're like, come on.
Yes, the initial load up screen was like awful, but I loved when you're driving and all of a sudden loading screen. And then like they didn't, like, this is the great thing. You're driving on the road. It cuts to a loading screen to load the other side of the island. But when the loading screen goes away, you're still driving at full speed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hope there's no cars. Man, that game was amazing.
That's what I like about Fallout 4. Sometimes on a load screen, you might get the special video set. It'll just start reeling.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to sit and watch this for a bit.
Animal Crossing Pocket Camp came out, you guys.
Oh dear, here we go.
That's Nintendo's mobile Animal Crossing game. It is free to play. There are two types of currency, as is typical with free-to-play games. You can, one currency is just the ordinary currency that you earn in the game, and the other currency you can buy with money. You can also earn it in the game. I've earned a whole bunch of Leaf tickets so far. I haven't felt compelled to buy any Leaf tickets. But I'm really enjoying Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. I really am. It's very fun. It's all the charm of traditional Animal Crossing is there. And you can do a lot of the traditional activities, picking fruit and fishing and catching bugs, making friends with anthropomorphic animals. It's very, very enjoyable. You can build your little camp. My little campsite, I found this toxic waste barrel for sale. So I put a toxic waste barrel at my campsite, and I customized my camper to be made out of like rusted sheet metal.
That is exactly what I would expect of you, having played so much Fallout.
I'm turning my
boy.
campsite into the Fallout wasteland. I'm expecting one of the little animals to come running out and say, General, another settlement needs your help. It's just going to be amazing. But I found it so funny. I've added as on my friends list a few people, a couple of our mods and some other people.
Oh, cool.
And their campsites, you can visit their campsites, right? Their campsites are decked out. Like, they are so fancy. Archon is very high level already. He has a big fancy tent and like a band on a stage, and
What?
it's amazing. And I've got a toxic waste dump. One of the little birds is reading Rachel Carson's Silent Spring.
Oh, that's good.
So
Well, it sounds like you're really having fun with that.
I am. It's they did a good job in terms of porting the Animal Crossing concept to mobile. I'm really happy with it. So I recommend picking that up for free and seeing if you like it.
Yeah. Is that just on your Switch?
No, that's a mobile game. It's on the phone. Yeah, it's on iOS, Android. You can play it on iPad as well. It is free, Captain Bones.
Oh.
It's free, and then you can buy Leaf tickets, which help you advance faster or
Like
do
actually
some
buy?
things. You can buy them with money, yeah, but you don't have to. So
Does-
far, I've played some, and I have not felt any need to buy Leaf tickets. So
Okay, so it's not like a.
it's not predatory at all.
Kind of like a Fallout Shelter route with lunch boxes.
I'd say the lunch boxes are worse.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I would say the lunch boxes are worse. So, yeah.
Cool.
Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. And I played a whole bunch of Super Mario Odyssey. I was going to finish Zelda over the holiday weekend, but Mario was in the card slot, so I played Mario instead. I don't really have anything super new to say about that, but I've continued to play it, and it continues to be pretty fun.
And you're loving it?
Yeah, indeed.
Ba-da-ba-ba. Oh, wait, copyright.
Shall we roll into our Gamestack challenge?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So we don't have screenshots because last fortnight's games, I guess it was 3 weeks ago's Gamestack challenge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was
And boy, am I ever glad we skipped a show. Or else none of this would have ever happened.
I know, right?
Shoot, man.
But this challenge was a silly one. It was basically to give us some ideas for future challenges. And we'll probably use all of these. They're pretty good.
I would like to point out before we get into the facade, if you haven't submitted a challenge, there's no better time than now to submit your challenge in the chat room, and we'll add it to the
Absolutely.
list.
We never realized how hard it would be to come up with a game challenge when we didn't really focus on any particular game.
Yes, it is extremely, extremely difficult to come up with challenges that can be played in multiple games. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
extremely difficult.
Very.
So, this first one comes from some guy named Vendor Trin. Vendor Tran.
Okay. Yeah. What does he have to say?
Loser.
I know. What a weird name. Who
Says
is
the
that?
naked guy down there.
Hey, I'm comfortable.
Thank God I'm not on the bottom today.
You'll notice I put myself as far as possible over here in the other corner.
I put on fresh deodorant yesterday. It's fine.
Oh, goodness. Vendertron suggests show off your favorite game/stream/PC setup.
Yeah. So if you've got a console hooked up to a giant TV in your living room, or if you've got a streaming setup, if you're a streamer, or if you just got a sweet PC setup, send us a picture. We'll share it on the show.
That's great. And Bree Thibodeau says your favorite mode of transportation in a game, which I think is a great one. It's really good.
Definitely. I'm sure there's GTA 5 players that would have some cool stuff to show.
Mine is to show us your Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Show us your campsite. Archin came up with a bow and arrow challenge because so many video games use bows and arrows. So I think that's a great idea.
Don't they, though? Don't they use bows and arrows all the time,
yes.
Shalene?
I think we have the ultimate crossbow challenge here.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It was all
win a
those
chicken
hours
dinner.
invested into Link's crossbow training.
I think winning a chicken dinner by crossbow would be too difficult of a challenge.
With the kill. No, without a kill. Because I think without a kill is actually much more difficult
Yes,
to do.
a PUBG pacifist challenge.
Wow.
Actually, that's a great idea. We should add that on the list. And it doesn't have to be chicken dinner. Just give us your ranking.
Yeah.
Screenshot of your ranking.
That's a
Perfect.
great idea, actually. That's a really good one. You should add that to the list for sure. And Kern Jess, who was our guest on episode 4, we were really pleased to have her. She suggested a silly hats challenge. So just, I of course, I support that one. I'm all about the silly hats, and mini games have the silly hats. So. And just now in chat, Joe Visitor posts, how about a Zelda timeline challenge? I'm not sure what you mean. Like, play all the games in the Zelda timeline or what?
Or just figure out how they all fit together in the timeline. Of
Good
the
luck
Zelda
with
world.
that one. All of our listeners are going to have a cork board with red string. And
And someone will come out and be like, Zelda didn't even exist.
It's Matrix.
It's just in your head, man. So what? Okay, so I was about to say, what challenge are we going to pick for this week? And I was thinking the PUBG challenge, but Bree just brings up a good point that wait till after 12/12 when it actually comes out for Xbox.
right, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Oh, great idea. Yeah.
Yes.
I totally pre-ordered a couple copies of Xbox PUBG so that I can play with Mom.
Oh, that makes
We're
sense.
going to have girl
Oh,
time
my
in PUBG.
gosh.
It's going to be
Wait.
amazing.
I totally want to play PUBG with your mom. Like, wouldn't
Well-
that be so fun? The four of us, just like, oh my.
Does it have
oh my.
crossplay, I wonder, with PC?
I don't
Because my
think
mom
so.
is not going to
I don't know.
play on PC.
I don't think so.
Sea of
Yeah.
Thieves will have crossplay, but I don't know about PUBG.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So what are we going to pick for next week? We should have maybe talked about this before we started the podcast.
No. We're at pull up your meeting chairs, guys.
Okay.
Maybe Rick, don't stand up. I think we should pick a viewer or a listener.
Okay.
Instead of
So we'll save the PUBG for sure. Cat and Bone votes hats. So let's...
Hats is probably easiest. to
That's
do.
very simple across many games.
Mhm.
So send us a picture of your character in whatever game you choose. Wearing silly hats. Oh, that's a good idea. Write down Maria's idea, Vendertron. Make a comic
shut up.
using 5 to 6 screenshots and caption them.
Oh, that is
What a great idea! Like
amazing.
what was the Rads of Our Lives?
Rads of Our Lives. yeah.
Yes, I love that. That's a great idea, Maria.
I still read those every
I
now
do
and then.
too. I read them
Yeah.
every Thursday.
I can just hear fake organ music.
Mouse- Okay, we got another hit. Mousetrap's asking, "Where's your shirt, Rick?"
Show up when the show starts. No. All right. We were playing PUBG. Shalene had a crossbow, and there was like 3 people left or something. And I said, if you get a chicken dinner with a crossbow, I'm going to do the next podcast naked. I'm naked. You do the math.
So
there we are then.
next week, next fortnight, a fortnight from now, be right here, guys, right here on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. And bring your screenshots of silly hats, your character wearing a fun hat. And how do the good people submit those challenge entries, Vendertron?
Well, you can tweet at us at We Just Love Games. Make sure that you include the hashtag Gamestack Challenge and your screenshot, of course. That doesn't do us any good if we haven't got anything to show on the show. And just give us a little bit of a description in your tweet about what we're looking at, so we can share it on the show as well. And also, if you want to submit it via email, you can do that as well, but the easiest way is to do it through Twitter. I would also like to add, for those people who are not listening live and you're listening to the show right now, please don't feel that you have been left out from this current challenge. If you want to share some of your challenge ideas with us, please do so at any time.
Absolutely. We love hearing your ideas. We love getting listener involvement in the shows. So please reach out to us at any time. So,
Yep.
Shall we roll on into the news?
Yeah, let's do some news.
All right.
That's my news segue.
I have been so busy this past week. I have not been paying attention to anything other than net neutrality, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of hard to not pay attention to it. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
That is some
Indeed.
good marketing.
Okay, guys. So the first article that I wanted to talk about is that Hellblade hits 500,000 copies sold, putting them in the black, making a profit 3 months ahead of schedule. So that's great
Nice.
news.
Very good.
Well done to the team at Rare
Ninja
Games?
Theory.
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory.
Rare.
Goodness.
Rare's been dead forever, man.
No, man. Rare is making Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Well, all right, but not like. I mean, it's not Rareware anymore.
Okay, I made a mistake. I'm sorry.
But Ninja
Yeah,
Theory
fair,
had
fair,
this sort of unique thing. Instead of having a publisher, they published the game themselves. They handled everything themselves. But the game wasn't really an indie game per se. It was like a short AAA game, which was a really unique approach, in my opinion, and I thought it worked really well. So congratulations to everybody at Ninja Theory. I'm very glad this game sold well, and if you haven't played it, I highly recommend picking this one up. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It is an intense game.
Hellblade.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, we're going to have to do a Hellblade stream.
I still haven't been able to go back to the game, Shalene, because my anxiety from grad school is like, yay.
Yeah. I understand. If you're already feeling a little stressed out, Hellblade might not be the right game to pick up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a very intense game. So have you guys ever played Marvel Heroes?
Not a big comic guy.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
either.
me neither.
I mean, just never really.
I read some comics. I don't really read superhero comics. I'm more into like indie image stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but Gazillion is the studio behind Marvel Heroes, and they shut down. They laid off all the staff the day before Thanksgiving. They were.
What?
Oh, that's nice.
That's such a douchebag move.
It was. Bones asks, "Was it an open world MMO?" Yes, that's the one. They were originally planning to end the game in December, but they went ahead and shut her down and laid off all those workers, and they really they didn't get any notice. These workers, they're not being paid severance or paid time off, and their medical insurance ends.
See, that's the thing about those types of jobs is they're high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
You know?
One of these days, they've got to do. I don't know if they're union based yet, but something like that's going to happen soon, or it should happen because these people need to be protected in these cases.
It's such a transient industry, though. Like these people know going in, they sign in their contract that they're okay with it. So
that's true.
But
yeah, I thought that was actually pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
It's still very upsetting.
What an
yes.
awful way. What an awful way.
I
to
think a
find out.
company could do at the very least is give notice.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Give
know,
them some time.
like Best or Future Shop, you just show up and the doors are closed.
Hmm.
It's like what?
So
Yeah, it's no good.
the Game Awards is a thing that happens every year, and it's about that time again for the Game Awards, and we have a list of the nominees here. I thought we could just kind of roll through them and discuss. Are you guys down with that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Let's talk
Okay.
about that.
Game of the Year, we've got Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Player Unknown Battlegrounds, Persona
You know what my
5,
vote's on.
and Horizon Zero Dawn. And Vindertron, I think you had something you wanted to comment on here.
Well, kind of. I don't know. It's so there's been a lot of talk about PUBG and whether or not it really deserves to even be nominated, given that the game is not out in full release yet. And so there's been a lot of controversy over that because if you think about Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, and Horizon Zero Dawn, especially, and Persona 5, these are all games that have been fully developed and released.
Mm-hmm.
So does it really constitute that PUBG should be Game of the Year? I don't know. Personally, I don't think so. The game has been very successful, but there's nothing really to speak to the creativity or the development that's gone into it.
And it's still an extremely buggy game.
It's
Oh, yeah.
it's a trendy game, and that's how it made it on this list. It has not made it on by merit. And the other thing is that what I mean, game of the like every magazine or like gaming network has their own game of the year dealio.
Mm-hmm.
So how really much of a big deal is this? So Brendan Green, actually, the PUBG creator, was at Paxos, and when he was asked whether PUBG should be a game of the year, he simply said, absolutely not. Games like Mario and Zelda, those things are beautiful, incredible achievements. Give it to them. So I think that really speaks volumes to the company that developed PUBG, of course. Bluehole, is that?
Yes, Bluehole.
So good on them for realizing that, yay, we don't deserve it, and I don't think we deserve it. But I think this is one of those things where the public has kind of lost touch.
Yeah.
I say realistically, in all honesty, that yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think Mario Zelda Breath of the Wild should kind of take that card for me. That game is just beautiful.
I really think the contenders this year should be between Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda.
Yes. Yes, I think that's what it's going to be. I don't even understand why Mario Odyssey is on there. I really don't.
A lot of people maintain that Mario Odyssey is the game of the year. I still think
But
those people are wrong.
Because they changed from stars to moons, man. They're innovative.
Exactly. But
They picked another celestial body, bro. It's not. No.
Yeah, you've really gone full hipster now.
it's very interesting, though, that 2 Nintendo games are on the Game of the Year list this year. I think it's been quite some time since even one Nintendo game.
Tasmani in the chat says Ark ? And Ark is another game that is still in development.
It's out, isn't it?
Is it fully out now?
Yeah.
I thought
believe
it
so.
released in August.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then it definitely should be on the list. It would be on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Some fan you are.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I've been out of touch for the last 3 months.
Goodness. Best
But yeah,
Game
Ark is up
Direction nominees: Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, Resident Evil 7: Biohazard, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Great.
In this one, Mario Odyssey, I feel like Mario Odyssey really does not belong in this category.
No. Well, they went from stars to moons, man. No, I think between the two, it's definitely going to be between Horizon Zero Dawn and Wolfenstein.
I agree with you, yeah.
I mean, Resident Evil 7 isn't going to get. I mean, it was good, but it's Silent Hill. It's already been done before. Wolfenstein I think, is a different. I mean, that's something we really haven't seen much of, those kind of shooters lately. And obviously, Breath of the Wild is just a gorgeous, expansive game. So much to do.
Best narrative. What Remains of Edith Finch, Nier Automata, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, Wolfenstein 2, Horizon Zero Dawn. So that's a little tougher. I haven't played Edith Finch or Nier, or Wolfenstein or Horizon actually, but I've seen enough of Wolfenstein and Horizon to think that they do absolutely belong on this list.
I was
But
gonna say Wolfenstein. Yeah.
I
I'm
think
really
that'll be a tough
surprised.
category.
I'm really surprised Hellblade isn't on any of these. Well, actually, it's on the best narrative, but
Yeah, absolutely deserving in my opinion.
Yeah.
Best art direction: Destiny 2, Cuphead, Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn. If Cuphead doesn't win this,
I know, right? It's hand drawn. But why is Destiny 2 on there?
it's pretty, I guess. I don't know.
It looks like Halo.
because Activision,
Halo was also pretty.
they paid the most money to get their name on.
That does not constitute like innovation. Now Cuphead's innovative because it was hand friggin' drawn.
Joseph in the chat says because Activision, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
But yeah,
No,
if Cuphead doesn't win that, I vote we riot.
Yeah. The
Best
same with the next category.
best score.
Kudos to the
Destiny 2.
developers of Cuphead though, because those guys, they made that game themselves.
Yeah,
Nailed
wasn't it like one guy or something?
No, I think it was like two brothers
Two
or
guys.
something.
It was not many guys.
Yeah.
Best score / music: Destiny 2, Cuphead, Nier, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and Persona 5. Why are there
Nice.
6 nominees in this one and there were only 5 in everything else?
I don't know.
Interesting.
There's 6 in some of the other ones. I feel like every time you say like a game, there should be an audience clapping. You know, little cutscene.
Yeah, I think Cuphead's a shoe-in for that one too.
Should be.
Best audio design: Destiny 2, Hellblade, Resident Evil 7, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey. If Hellblade does not win this, if Hellblade deserves any awards, it's the one for audio because oh my god.
It's
Like,
unreal, you guys.
play this game with headphones. The audio design in this game, like I'm not somebody who notices that kind of thing, and wow, this game.
It sets itself apart.
Yeah, with like Resident Evil, there's a scene where this guy gets his hand chopped off, and like one of the most pet peevey things for me is when the audio team is like, "We're gonna make this like a juicy knife, and it's gonna be like," right?
Oh.
But then like on screen, it's like it doesn't match the blood and the knife movements.
Yeah.
It's like they're stabbing up and down, but it's like, it's like a squishy thing. And that's how that was. It's like the audio does not match with what you're seeing on screen. So it's like we're gonna make just nasty sounds and nasty visuals and mush them together in this like mishmash of nothingness. So yeah, I don't even understand why that game's on there.
Best
The dynamics were cool with like when you would hear things
Yeah.
and what was, but I don't know. Stupid.
As an audio enthusiast, Rick, though, I think you would be very interested in hearing what they've done with Hellblade. I think you'd.
Yeah.
That's something
I need to
you would
play
dig.
Hellblade.
You do need
Oh,
to play Hellblade.
it's something
I
else,
just
man.
I want to. Now that I've finished it, I kind of want to stream it.
Like, let me put it this way: the game is so good that it freaked me out so bad that I'm struggling to go back to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
on?
Like I mentally,
It's on Steam as well. Yeah.
I mentally can't go back to the game because I was so into it. I was so in the game. It was just.
I think
yeah.
about this game probably every day. Like this
Really?
game. This is a very impactful game.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Best performance: Melina Juergens, Hellblade; Laura Bailey, Uncharted as Nadine Ross; Claudia Black, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy as Chloe Fraser; Brian Bloom from Wolfenstein 2 as BJ Blazkowicz; and Ashley Birch from Horizon Zero Dawn as Aloy. And I adored Uncharted: Lost Legacy. It was real fun. I don't think either of those ladies deserves this award.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Next list.
Do you guys want to go through all of these?
Wow, that is a
That's
lengthy
a long
list.
That's about the end for me, I think.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that deserves a show in itself.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So,
We'll have to do that at the end of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gamestack Awards
I think so
or
too.
Stack Awards.
That's something we should talk about when we're not making the podcast. So, Wolfenstein 2 was nominated for a whole bunch of awards at the Game Awards. And if, like me, you haven't played it, there is now a free trial available on all platforms. The full first level is available, and progress carries over to the full game if you buy it. And I'm absolutely going to do that before I go back to work because I want to check that out. I wish I'd had time to do it earlier so that I could have bought it on Black Friday sale. If I liked it. But yeah, I highly recommend checking out the free trial of Wolfenstein 2. I know the Prey trial sure sold me on Prey. So it's a pretty smart thing Bethesda's doing with their games.
I didn't know they had a free trial.
Yeah. I think you should probably download it and we should all play it. So free games, they're the best. We love getting things for free. And if you are an Xbox Live Gold member, you can get some games with gold this December. Gosh, guys, what's going on here?
Hey,
You're just letting me sink.
It's fun.
Shalene, can you still feel your face?
I smell burnt toast.
Stick your tongue out, please.
From December 1st through the 30th, you can get Warhammer End Times Vermintide, which actually looks kind of fun. Back to the Future 30th Anniversary Edition. That's a Telltale game. What?
Oh, wow. I didn't know there was
Wow, that's going to be cool.
It was one of their early games before they got good. So that's available December 16th through January 15th. I haven't played it, but it's pre The Walking Dead, and I hear it's not good.
Oh, okay.
Child of Eden is available December 1st through 15th, and Marlowe Briggs and the Mask of Death is available December 16th through the 31st.
That's such a weird title for a video game. It's like Marlowe Briggs, happy, Mask of Death. It's like this, like Marlowe Briggs, Marlowe and me. It's a very friendly name, and then Mask of Death. So
I think it's sort of an action movie homage.
Captain Bones in the chat saying, how y'all not still smelling all that delicious chicken? Well, my chicken has turned into bones, Captain Bones.
That was really good chicken, though, guys. That was
delicious.
My bucket's empty.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about some Black Friday deals?
Let's do. Today we're recording this on Black Friday.
Yeah, man. It is Black Friday, guys, and we've got some awesome deals coming down the pipeline for you. Starting with Assassin's Creed Origins on Xbox One, Best Buy and Target has it on sale for $34.99.
It's a very good deal.
I believe these are US prices. EB Games has the Sony PlayStation 4 Pro 1 terabyte for $349.99, usually priced at $399.99. Walmart also has a deal on Sony PlayStation 4s, the 1 terabyte Slim gaming system for $199, which is usually $299. You can also get the Sony VR system at GameStop for $199.99, which is a pretty good deal.
That's real cheap for VR.
Yep. Walmart's got another deal, the Microsoft Store has a deal on their Xbox One S, the 500 gigabyte, plus a free game and 1 month Game Pass for $189.
That's really good.
That is a really, really great deal. That's over $100 off, or just about $100 off. The HTC Vive VR system plus Fallout VR bundle for $799, marked down $100, I believe. Amazon is selling the Oculus Rift and Touch Virtual Reality system for $349, marked down $50 from $400. And Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, is on sale for $25 on Amazon, marked down from $60. Also on Amazon, you can find Middle-earth Shadow of War for $25, usually $60. And you can also get the Switch Console Neon Edition with Mario Kart 8 for $377.93 on Amazon.
That's pretty good.
I also wanted to add that Steam is having their autumn sale.
Ooh.
And Assassin's Creed Origins is 17% off at $49.79. Wolfenstein franchise is 40 to 50% off, with Wolfenstein 2 being $29.99. Let's see here. What else did we
Still cheaper on Amazon, guys.
It is cheaper on Amazon. Is that for PC though?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Skyrim Special Edition.
Check it out.
Is sorry, Skyrim Elder Scrolls 5 Special Edition remastered and Special Edition of the remastered Special Edition. I'm kidding, by the way. But the Special Edition is $19.99. Arc is 50% off at $29.99 for the full release, as you can say. And then Grand Theft Auto 5 is $29.99. So check out the Steam sales. There's a ton of them on there, and have a gift.
How long does the sale go on for, Rick?
Hey, I'm not going to say who, but somebody just gifted me Wolfenstein 2. Thank you very much.
That was super
Oh,
nice.
look at that.
That was super nice, Rick.
Well,
not gonna
that's
say
what you
who.
get for doing the show naked.
Do you feel
I'm going to stand
Do
up.
you feel dirty now?
No. This is how I move up in life, honey.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, so the Steam sale is amazing right now. All their Steam sales are always shut up and take my money.
I'd also like to add that you can nominate Ark for the Steam Awards. So if you didn't see it on the Game of the Year list and you feel like it should be, you can give it some kudos and some love on Steam.
Fantastic.
Also, Hellblade
So-
is also on sale on Steam.
Ooh, good. Good. So did you guys buy anything for Black Friday? And in chat too, I'm really interested in hearing everybody's Black Friday purchases.
I didn't. One reason, I'm freelance. So that's why.
Indeed.
And there wasn't actually a ton that piqued my interest anyway.
Bender.
I'm not really into TVs and stuff.
I spent $300 at Pandora yesterday.
What's Pandora?
Oh, you guys don't have Pandora in the US?
We might, I
Yeah,
mean,
we
we
do,
don't
we
have
do.
it in rural
Oh.
New Mexico.
Pandora is a women's jewelry store.
Oh.
The
Oh,
charm.
I know what
the
you're
charm
talking. The charm
bracelets.
bracelet. My mom had one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a buy two get one free. So I
Nice.
cashed in big time.
Delightful. That's really nice.
Yeah, I also bought a bow tie that was on sale, but that was about it for Black Friday.
Bow ties
Great.
are cool.
It's not really a thing here in Canada.
Really.
Yeah, like the malls still kind of do like a quasi Black Friday. Like things are 30% off.
Mm-hmm.
Some stores you'll have an awesome deal, but our deals really are Boxing Day.
Holy smokes. Joseph
Yeah.
Tao bought Knack 2, Prey, Portal Knights, Wolfenstein 2, Nier Automata, Lego City Undercover, Pokemon Omega Ruby, Pokemon Y, World of Final Fantasy,
Why am I
Minecraft
not
Story Mode
surprised?
Season 2, and I Am Setsuna.
I am so not surprised.
I bought Horizon Zero Dawn. $20. I also ordered what's it called? Final Fantasy 15, also $20. And I bought a couple of season passes for Xbox games for like $5.
Nice.
Nice.
And I did a whole bunch of Christmas shopping, not video game related Christmas shopping. So yeah. Online, all online.
That's cool.
I was not trampling the elderly to
Well,
get my Christmas
well, I'll
shopping
tell you
done.
something. I still haven't finished Black Friday shopping because my Amazon shopping cart is full of goodies. So
Mhm.
probably gonna do that late tonight. Some
Don't forget
impulse buying after a few drinks.
and losses on PUBG. But
Yeah.
don't forget that Cyber Monday is just around the corner. And then more importantly, Giving Tuesday, and then whatever the hell Wednesday. And then there's Thursday. Why do we have to name all
What the
days?
heck did I do Wednesday?
Yeah.
What the heck did I do Wednesday? Why is my bank account at 0 Wednesday?
Yeah.
Mm.
Monday left me broken. Tuesday I was through with hoping. Sorry.
Wow.
Anyways, back to our news. Those are the Black Friday deals. That sounds like you guys got some good loot. You want to talk about some legal stuff?
I
This
think
is
you
my
should
segue.
take that one, man. Let's
So the last
Sure.
thing on our news list this week is talking about gambling regulators to investigate loot boxes, and this is happening in Australia. So, Australian gambling regulators are considering investigating loot boxes in video games and whether or not they constitute a breach of state laws. And this has all been kind of re-sparked because of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 facade, and the debate around the legal and ethical considerations of loot boxes, which has also kind of spurred the Belgian Gaming Commission to launch an investigation into loot boxes and in-game purchases as well. So I think that where concern matters is when gaming addiction influences a person's spending, and the implications it has on younger kids that are gaming. I think that it's important to recognize the financial implications of overspending and how that impacts the public, but gambling is certainly an appropriate platform to launch the debate. And I think regulators have a long way to go in the ways of informing policy around loot boxes and in-game purchases. But I certainly find comfort in knowing that the debate is finally gaining some traction in recent months, thanks to people like our lovely listeners who have spoken out against these pay-to-win models. Because, as I have said before, they are taking away from the creative process of the game development. So, do you guys have any thoughts on that? I know that you've spoke your piece many a time previously, but
all right, here's the thing. Gambling is monetary based, correct? Mm-hmm. So if you're spending money for randomized objects in a box that constitute in non-performance enhancing, wow, we got to this point in gaming, non-performance enhancing gaming things, and they're just cosmetic, or let's say experience boosters or that sort of thing, then that's not necessarily gambling, because you're not financially benefiting from that. You're just like visually benefiting from that.
Or like Shalene and I have talked about, I think on a previous episode where you were not on with us, if you're not losing, well, because in these loot boxes you're always getting something.
Correct. Like if you open a box and it's like, sorry, nothing's in there, obviously that's bad. But like, I keep thinking about Guild Wars with these things called Black Lion chests that you get a ton of them, but the keys that you have to open them, you only get them like when you complete exploring a world map, or if you buy the keys with gems that you buy for real currency in their gem store. And like you open it up and you get like things like transmutation charges to like change your wardrobe, or you get ticket scraps that you can combine together to make a Black Lion ticket, and then buy like a new skin for your gun, and and like crafting materials. But it doesn't like make you a better player. It doesn't give you better weapons. It doesn't give you better armor. It doesn't, like, it's no pay to play sort of thing. And even so, once you like in the game, you can change gems, which is their store currency, for gold, which is in-game currency. And you can also buy gems with gold, but you can never reconstitute that back into real money. So you're never financially gaining anything. So like in that case, like, that's fine. I think that's a great setup. You always win. You're always getting something. Yeah, the prizes might not be as cool as you want them to be, because there's really good stuff in there, but you're always winning something. So I think that is like a good benchmark for things. If you're opening loot boxes that enhance your gaming performance, where it in turn decreases someone's gaming experience because you've got this crazy booster, like, that's bad. And that I maybe could consider gambling, because you're taking away someone's financial investment on their fun time. Does that make sense?
I do.
So
yeah.
Well,
I think there's certainly some questions and concerns that and this is kind of why it has sparked the debate, because these kids under 18 are making these purchases, and when that sort of thing happens, I think eyebrows start to get raised. And at the same time, it's like there's gambling aside, there's ethical considerations to the pay to win model.
Here's a question I want to ask you: the Battlefront boxes, can they be resold for real currency?
No.
Then
I don't.
Why
and
is
you
this a problem?
you do get a free box every day that you just play the game. You get one
Then
free
why
box.
is this being investigated? For gambling. Why is that being investigated for gambling?
Well, I think the issue is that this is sort of comes on the precedence of historical events. That's where gambling has kind of risen up from. I think that loot boxes in in-game purchases and winning things in game is sailing perilously close to the edge that is gambling.
Gotcha.
I think
So
it's
we're not-
kind of gambling. But the thing
We're not-
that I find the most concerning about this whole thing is that the ESRB has failed to regulate it, so the government is starting to step in.
Mhm.
And that is the last thing we want. The last thing we want is the government putting their hands in our video games.
But
It's
this kind of
supposed to
falls
be a
under the-
self-regulating industry, and I think
And I
it's
get what
really unfortunate.
And I get what you're saying about the gambling side of things, but this kind of falls under the same premise of when, parents buy their 8-year-old a mature video game. Like the
Mhm.
ESRB can regulate the ratings and requirements as much as the next person, but at the end of the day, it's still, okayed by someone's parents. So these minors who have these credit cards from their parents that are hooked up to their parents' bank account have already given them somewhat permission to do these purchases.
Yeah,
So,
which kind of brings us to our next topic about gaming within families and parents monitoring children gaming, and Jack Black actually has really articulated this well, and we've got the movie queued up for you here. It is a interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and let's just share his experience.
Okay.
Dang it, they had
That was
queued
a
it
cool
up,
kid
so-
right there.
but it's only
Oh
3
my
minutes, so we're good.
Yeah,
Don't mess with me. I will unleash the Tommy on you guys.
And the older one, this 8?
Sammy.
No, what
Sammy
is
is
this?
8.
What's Sammy into now?
Sammy's super into apps.
Oh yeah.
Here we
And
go.
I know I can feel everyone's judging me right now because I'm a bad father. He plays a lot of iPad, but that's
I don't think
only
you're the
partially
only-
true. I make up for it in other ways, but he loves.
100% wrong. Complete and total. Any game where it's like, oh, I see you've made a half of a move, looks like you've got to pay to make any more. Like that is complete and utter garbage and bull. That's what I mean. When you put the game behind a paywall, or you put like stuff in loot boxes behind a paywall, that is completely wrong as far as gaming is concerned. What I was saying that I don't consider, gambling, yeah, but what I don't consider wrong is like Overwatch or Guild Wars, where it's cosmetic things that don't pertain to.
Cosmetic things I have no problem with, but things that affect gameplay, I would rather not have them randomized.
Oh,
For sure.
totally, yeah. When you should pay for the thing that you want when you're paying for it, unless it's,
Even cosmetic things, I don't like having them randomized. If I want to buy the cool hat, I should be able to just buy the cool hat. I
Well,
don't
I
like
mean,
the randomization.
If it's a good game, they're going to give you that option too. That's what I mean. If it's a good game, they're going to give you that option. But they're also going to have like special things that are randomized too. It's like whatever you want. It's,
I don't know, guys. I don't know, but I'm super tired of talking about microtransactions.
Let's not talk about
Yeah,
microtransactions.
it's one of those things that keeps coming back, but
Guys.
we'll check in like a year and see where it's
Yeah.
at.
I got a solution. To continue the podcast, everyone in here has to pay $1.
Yes, $1.
Oh.
$1 for the next
Yeah.
segment, guys.
If you want to hear Shalene say another word, it's another 10 cents. And
The rest of you is just going to be like screeching, like mechanical screeching every time I open my mouth.
if you would like to customize Rick's outfit, that is $5.99 per item.
If you would like Rick
Wow.
to stand up, buy the
That's-
gold pack.
That'll cost a bit more than $5.
Hold on there, partner. We didn't come here to see Rick Jr.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to our listener emails, tweets, and more. This was a Twitter message from Pantagrulia, which I'm sure I mispronounced. I'm sure I mispronounced it at the top of the show as well. But welcome, Pantagrulia, new listener. Hey, I'm totally late to the party, but have finally succumbed to the joy that is Fallout 4, listening to your Fallout OTR podcasts, and I'm lamenting my lack of a time machine since I got my first legit piece of pie from the dugout in Diamond City.
Yes.
I was so excited, I built a shrine as per the challenge. Here it is with my main squeeze. We got dressed up to celebrate. And this is not a Gamestack challenge. This is a very old challenge, building a shrine to the perfectly preserved pie. But this is so good. I just wanted to bring it up because so great.
That challenge was probably the best challenge, and it was the whole thing that inspired me to make your guys' perfectly preserved pies.
It was a really good one. So
Sitting on
she's
top of my Pip-Boy crate.
built a display case with a. You can actually see mine, I think, in the video behind me
You
here.
can. Dog meat's got it.
She's put a display case with the perfectly preserved pie and some neon lights that say "Behold the pie," and McCready is wearing a fancy suit standing next to the pie.
That's great.
Thanks for sharing that. I really liked seeing that. So, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about today?
I can't think of anything.
No, I mean, we have really covered everything.
All right.
In
Or
some cases,
uncovered.
haven't.
Well, guys, if you would like to be a part of this show by sending in emails for us to read or challenge ideas or anything else, you can send us email at info@wejustlovegames.com, info@wejustlovegames.com. You can find us on Twitter at WeJustLoveGames. I'm at Shalene L. Rick is at Rick McVick. Vendertron is at VendertronN. Twitter's probably one of the better ways to interact with us. We're also on Facebook, though, if you're not a Twitter user. Facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames is our page. We also have a group that tends to be pretty active. Facebook.com/groups/WeJustLoveGames. We've got a Discord channel. You can just send us a message. It is invite only, so send us a message on another platform, and we will get you an invite link to the Discord. If you'd like to join in the chat room, like the fabulous Cat and Bones, Mousetrap, Bree, and more, then you can join us at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. We're here every week. We do the podcast every other week. On the off weeks, we do a game stream. I don't know what we'll be doing next week, but it's gonna be good. We're on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio with the podcast. Please like, subscribe, and review. It means the world to us. Does anybody have any final thoughts?
I forgot the PUBG stats.
Oh, the PUBG stats. Okay, Rick, go with the PUBG stats.
We'll wait. We'll wait.
We've talked about PUBG on every episode for the last 2 months.
But
so...
these are really impressive. They're very impressive. But we'll wait. We'll do those.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tune in next time for PUBG stats. Anything else, guys?
So you guys want to go get some chicken dinner?
Let's do it.
Let's go get some chicken dinner.
Thanks for listening.